As a general practice, most homeless people who are of intelligence and affiliated to a proper sense of sanitation will not receive food from someone that is made at home. We get played with a lot of leftovers, and people don't think about the lack of health and hygiene in doing that to people. They also don't think about the lack of control of their own self in thinking that I'm going to choose for a total stranger. But the Lord had told me that there would be food that I would be able to have some from someone that would be generally safe, and I ate the parts of the meal that was safe without illness in it from the number of people that would help to dish up a plate, to take home, or to give out. And openly I had a little. The rolls were off the hook excellent. The spaghetti was quite good, and I had just a wee bit of chicken that the Lord said I could. You see, when the Lord allows me to eat something that could possibly be tainted with melatonin or something else that is not right for me, He does that to allow me the safety of my life. People don't often think about this, but I'm not someone who has ever had difficulty sleeping. But I seem to be having trouble waking, which is more a problem. I also believe that someone has been trying to abuse my rights to drive safely by making the background noise of a window that I usually would leave open even in the snow to allow fresh air to enter the car, to put someone to sleep. You see, abusers like to abuse for centuries, sometimes for years. And openly I have been experiencing a great deal of abuse, physical, intellectual, spiritual, psycho-emotional, and sadly sexual, because when they mutilated my genitalia, no one asked me if I wanted them to do it. No one allowed me the right to say no because I was drugged in the process, and I lost several weeks off my life. The liars of Satan like to play with people's records, and the liars in the force will always be liars because they're hired for their ability to lie, because if they want to make detective, it's always like we see in the ridiculous shows on TV of the interrogation rooms, interrogating someone who's a murderer. Now, according to a brand new author, a famous woman out of Secret Service, you don't have to do the white light and the harassment and haranguement to get someone to profess or confess a problem. There are lie detectors in everyone, and I could sense the lie in both the male visitors who were coming towards me to provide me food. In fact, I threw Vaughn's food away at first. But at the right moment of time, after the players in the hood had walked by my tent, and I could hear them walking by, I could hear them standing outside eavesdropping, I could hear them doing a lot of things, because thankfully I still, at the present moment of my age demographic, have good hearing, unlike people in my family who don't have good hearing or choose not to hear and feel they don't have to listen. I am not unopposed to receiving food from anyone, but I would have preferred, in the year and a half that I've been professing this ministry, that someone would have heard my plight, which says, if you want to feed me and you're not willing to provide me with a simple cash donation where I can choose food correctly for my own cellular health, like a big boy does anytime he lives in this world, then by all means bring me a case of iced tea, like from Arizona Tea Company, which I think is a pretty good organization based on how cheaply we can buy it for $1 a large can. And I prefer cans in a time of COVID for a lot of reasons. Cans can be heated in a little bit of water on a stove or on a campfire, very carefully, very gently, to have warmer tea. And at the same time, a can can be opened safely and not punctured in any way and drip all over me. And at the same time, I ask for cans of protein, and my general recommendation for most people is that most people are okay with chicken, and most people are definitely okay with pulled pork or some sort of a beef or ham substitute, or ham. Spam's not marvelous unless you cook it, but there's so much salt in it, it really sets you back.